Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Straight Talk with Daily Tribune. Today, we are joined by Mr. Exequiel Delgado, the president of Radius Telcoms, and of course, Vernon, one of our editors here. Thank you very much for being here, sir.
Well, thank you for inviting me, Patrick. Yeah, Vernon.
Yeah, actually, we're very concerned earlier that you might not push through because of the typhoon Tisoy.
Yeah.
And then thank you very much for being here, for braving the storm.
Well, we're a 24/7 operation, so come hell or high water, will
Yeah, same in our industry. Anyway, so sir, tell us about Radius and its services. What are your product offerings and your relationship with Meralco?
Well, Radius Telecoms is a 100% subsidiary of Meralco, meaning it's owned by the Meralco Utility Company. It's been operating since the early 2000s, but it used to be called EMBI. But in the succeeding years, the name was changed to Radius Telecoms. It operates mainly on the franchise area of Meralco, which is really Metro Manila, Batangas, Laguna, Cavite, and some parts of Bulacan, offering data and internet services. So we're a 100% fiber company, and our focus is really enterprises and offering them our data and internet services.
So are you more like a partner or a competitor?
Well, the beauty about telecommunications is you wear different hats. Sometimes you're a partner, sometimes you're a competitor, depending on the situation. Because aside from corporate customers, our customer base also includes the carriers. So in areas where they cannot put up their facilities, they order from us. In the same manner that in areas where we don't have facilities, we also order from them. So there's a healthy relationship. So depending on the situation, we wear the hats that we're supposed to wear.
So you said that some of your customers are the carriers,
Yes.
and then you provide them with facilities that they can.
Yes.
So what are these facilities that you provide those carriers?
More often than not, these are fiber facilities into areas where maybe they have difficulty in putting facilities, because there are some areas where not everybody is allowed. So there's a healthy relationship among carriers to cooperate as it is needed to serve the public.
They are not allowed because they are not allowed because they don't have any franchise there, or they are not allowed because of other reasons.
Yeah, maybe there's a business reason. Maybe the people who are in charge of the areas no longer allowing additional facilities to be installed because they think it's already enough. So if that situation occurs, then there's nothing stopping us from talking to each other and making sure that we support one another.
So these facilities, does this include cell towers?
No, since we're not operating any mobile service, these are mostly fiber optic cables that are either attached on the poles, because we're a subsidiary of Meralco. A big portion of our facilities are really on the poles, and in areas where attachment to the poles are not allowed, then we dig the streets and put in conduits and put the fiber underground. So it's a combination.
Sir, do you think the industry is already saturated for a third player?
Well, I believe there's always room for something or someone better. As long as you're trying to offer something better, then customers will be willing to open up and try out. The intent of Radius is really to improve the customer experience.
Correct.
And as long as we are here to make sure that the rest of our competitors are also on their feet, then at the end of the day, the benefit will go to the customer. So
I was wondering, kasi the Philippines is always called the outlier for internet slot. What is causing this, slowness po?
well, it's a combination of a lot of things. Majority kasi of the websites that are being accessed by Filipinos are abroad.
Okay.
Even on the internet access, we have this colonial mentality. We're so fascinated with what's abroad. Unlike our neighbors in Korea or Japan, where the content is merely local. So it remains local. For majority of Filipinos are, the websites sometimes that we access are outside the Philippines, which makes internet expensive
Yeah.
because the content is not localized. So
Yeah.
that's one of the factors.
And how does slow internet impact, you know, productivity and affect businesses?
Well, you know, um, never in the history of businesses has telecoms played a very crucial role
Okay.
because almost everybody now wants to be connected. Why?
Mhm.
It's a global marketplace.
Yeah.
You're no longer selling your services within the Philippines. You're selling your services all over the world. And the internet speed is very critical because it allows you to market your products globally. So, if the internet is fast, then the exchange of information is going to be fast and it's going to, result to more business activity.
Okay.
So talking about the internet speed, do you think that because the Philippines is an archipelago with more than 7,000 islands, is that a factor that affects internet speed as far as infrastructure and other services are concerned?
Yeah, that's why you have a situation where in the cities, the internet speed is bearable. But when you go outside the city, it becomes unbearable because it takes a lot of money to put up these facilities all over the country. Having 7,100 islands is really no joke. The fact that we're not a contiguous piece of land makes it even more challenging. But we're not stopping. I think the solution is not radius, but if all the carriers work together to make sure that we improve internet services here in the Philippines, then our collective effort will ensure that happens.
Yeah, and that makes it more expensive to operate.
Yeah. So
And of course, there's no government uh, the investment in this area.
well, I think in fairness to the government, I think they're doing their share. I think the DICT with its new leadership is trying to put up a broadband network all over the Philippines. And once that is established, then it's going to improve connectivity in the
Yeah, but
country.
in other countries, the government is investing in telcos, like providing facilities or towers. But
Yeah.
unlike here, is all private initiatives.
Yeah, it's the competition is so fierce in the Philippines. Yeah, I think we're one of the few countries where towers are not being shared. That's why I think the government's trying to embark on a common tower policy, to make sure that we minimize the investments in putting up this.
What's your take on that, on the common tower initiative of the government?
Well, although we're not part of it because we're not offering mobile services,
Yes.
I think eventually it will benefit the consumer because rather than the two carriers putting up their own, then there's a common standard or a common tower, firm that will put up these towers, then and eventually they will just lease the facilities from these.
Well, you stated that Radius is offering only data services and not voice services. So, aside from that, how are you different from existing telcos?
Well, aside from our data and internet services, a big focus right now is access to the cloud. There are a lot of cloud providers like AWS, Azure, 365, Google Cloud Services. And a lot of the companies in the Philippines are now trying to access these cloud providers to put in their data. So part of the focus of Radius is to allow these companies to access these cloud services in a fast, secure, and in a better way. So that's where that's one of the main focus of Radius.
So, tell us about your expansion plans in Clark and Cebu.
Right now we have just finished our expansion in Clark. In fact, the coverage of Signal and TV5 in that area, we're partly providing the services. We hope to be in Cebu by first quarter 2020, and then the team went to Iloilo last week, and they were amazed at the progress in that part of the country. So we're also looking at Iloilo and possibly Davao, just little by little, baby steps before we decide to run. We're looking at areas where businesses are flourishing, because that's where I think Radius has the competitive advantage, because we are focused on what we want to achieve, and we're focused on the markets that we want to serve.
So the services that you're offering, you're more targeting the business establishments. How about the consumer market,
Well,
the retail market?
well, the retail market, eventually we're going to be indirectly involved, because we're launching a partnership with Signal, which is also part of the group. Because right now, Signal is being offered through satellite dishes. What we intend to do is focus on MDUs, or condominiums, and wire up these condominiums with fiber optic, and then allow Signal to offer IPTV and internet services.
So
to
you
the
will
public.
bundle internet connection with cable TVs.
Yeah, but the intent is Signal is going to be the customer-facing entity. So we will just be supporting them through our fiber facilities and internet services.
So having said that, can you explain the different services that you have or products po?
Well, the data products is really connecting, branches.
Okay.
Either through lease lines, through MPLS. So it's really allowing companies to, normally they connect their branches to the head offices. The other one is really through the internet. It's not a direct connection to their specific companies, but it's a direct connection to the internet, and that's where they meet. And then the third one is really access to the cloud, meaning for companies who have mobile users, people who have go out of the office just to access their applications, and we provide products that will allow them to security is a very important concern right now of companies. So the services we provide is a fast and secure way to access these cloud
Is that part of your managed services?
Yes,
product?
part of the managed services.
So what are these products that you offer in that area?
Initially, it's really called, the first product is RCE, Radius Cloud Express. So it's the service that allows them to access the cloud, and the other one is SD-WAN, so software defined, wide area network. These are new technologies that we think, will allow companies to connect more of their branches, in the coming years.
So wow, Radius has been existing for since 2000, right? But now is the only time that you decided to expand. Why is that? What pushed the company to expand these operations?
Well, we have a new president for Meralco, and his vision is really to expand outside our comfort zone. So we have decided to be comfortable to be uncomfortable. I mean, because if you don't challenge yourself, if you just rely on where your strengths are, then you'll never be able to expand outside, because you'll always be saying, well, we're okay in this franchise area, we're already very successful in the areas that we operate. But unless you push yourselves to go out and you can explore outside your comfort zone, then you'll never be able to expand. So that's the mandate of our president, really, to make sure that.
I'm just curious because Meralco, because Radius is a subsidiary of Meralco, and Meralco is part of the Pangilinan MVP Group, which owns also Smart Communications and PLDT. So how would that play out? How will that move on the part of Meralco to push Radius be in conflict with what PLDT and Smart Telecoms are offering?
Well, we think there is no conflict, because the mandate that was given to me is to find a way to work with PLDT. because since telecoms is a very important component of how businesses are operating these days. They don't rely on just one carrier.
Mhm.
They
Yeah,
rely on
exactly.
multiple carriers. So the vision of our chairman is to be able to go into the market with both PLDT and Radius
Mhm.
backing each other up. So in customers where PLDT is very strong, then Radius is going to be there as the backup. In situations where Radius is the strong partner of the customer, then we will be bringing PLDT. Because we believe that if we partner together, if we can
Mhm.
find a way to make this work, then we will almost be unbeatable.
Mhm.
Because if we combine our facilities, if we combine our resources, then we'll be able to serve, the total requirements of the
So
markets
we
that
will
we're
be
serving. Yes.
complementing each other.
Of course, there will be
Mhm.
times when we will be competing, but we'd like to keep that to a minimum. We'd like to focus on opportunities where we can really help each other.
Mhm.
And I think the fact that we have common owners on top
Mhm.
will make that will make that
So,
task easier.
what areas do you think are there opportunities for you to collaborate?
Oh, in the BPO,
Mhm.
in the banking sector, definitely in the retail sector. I think it's a matter of just focusing on a few of these
Mhm.
verticals. We cannot be, I don't intend for us to partner in all the industries. But if we can find two, three, or four really major customers that we can create an impact, then if that happens, then it will be a huge plus for both companies.
What are your future plans, initiatives?
Oh, future plans? No, the immediate plan really is just expansion,
Mhm.
just focusing on areas where businesses are flourishing, trying to support the government's effort you know to help in the digitalization of the whole country. We'd like to believe that we're a company that will ignite innovation
Mhm.
because, we believe in the Filipino enterprise. And Regis is going to be here to make sure that they have the tools that will be necessary to compete in the global marketplace.
What are the infrastructure that you would require for your expansion?
Just fiber, we're rolling out fiber all over the country. Because at the end of the day, this is the major component of what we do.
Mhm.
We connect cities, we connect buildings, we connect businesses. So that's going to continue. Of course, we're going to be heavily investing on equipment, you know, how on new technologies because we have to keep abreast, with the times and make sure that we are competitive, globally. Because part of the customer base that we're also serving are these foreign telcos.
Mhm.
These foreign carriers who have customers here in the Philippines. So majority of them are our customers, and we provide connectivity on the Philippine
Mhm.
side to make sure that their global customers are connected.
How much is Radius war chest for this expansion?
How much is
Yeah,
what?
how much have you allocated or earmarked for this expansion?
Yeah. I don't think I'm in a position right now to,
Yeah,
to
actually.
divulge that. Yeah, but it's a substantial amount. Yeah, because this is, telecoms is a very capital
Yeah.
intensive industry,
Mhm.
as you very well know. So suffice to say that we will need several board approvals just to make sure it happens.
Aside from that, sir, what impedes, um, let's say, investors in fiber and startups to actually invest more for
Um, it's uh, it's the return on the investment. I mean, this is
is there no return?
it's because it's very difficult. You never know, especially if you're a startup. Getting permits from local
Mhm.
government
Mhm.
units just to put up all these facilities is a pain. Uh, you hear of the other carriers complaining about permits and putting up towers. We're also having the same problems where, every time we put up fiber facilities and attach them to poles, we need permits from the barangay, from the from the city, from municipal. I mean, it slows down the work.
Is that the main challenge when rolling out this?
Yeah, this is really one of the major challenges, more than the cost. It's really trying to be patient and working together. It has improved over the last few months that I've arrived, but you know, it can be made faster.
What's the usual reason of these LGUs? Why are they impending this the approval of this permits for
I don't know. Maybe they don't have enough people. I don't know.
Technical know-how
technical
or
know-how, maybe the sense of urgency. It's all a combination of because
or something for one
yeah,
or Eddie.
great. No comment.
So when say if I will get the services of Radius for my internet services, what's the speed that I'm looking at?
No, from as low as 2 meg to as high as 1 gig. I mean, it's really
Wow.
yeah. It really depends for example, as an enterprise customer, it depends on the applications that you want to run and the speed that you want them, you want to access. So we're flexible.
So
It
how,
depends
say
on
is
that.
a 1 gig internet service, how much will that cost normally?
Maybe about 80,000 to 100, depending. Depends. There are several kinds of services depending on the requirement that you have. It can be a direct connect internet. It can be a shared internet. If it's a shared internet, then the cost is going to be lower.
Go down, yeah.
But if it's a dedicated internet access, then it's going to be expensive.
How about in the your plans for the near term and medium term?
Well, medium term. Well, we're also looking, at companies that maybe we can buy, because as we expand this company, it's all a combination of building it on our own or buying companies that are willing to sell their companies. So we're actively looking
For acquisition.
For acquisition.
What's the size of the companies that you're looking to acquire?
It doesn't really, it's not really the size, but is there a fit? Are there in areas where we want to be? Are the customers that they currently have? Are they the customers that we really want? So, we're looking at several companies. We're talking to some of them right now, and hopefully something materializes.
And if those things materialize, that you acquired some of the companies that are perfect for your direction, or aligned with your direction, how will that hasten your expansion plans in terms of
Well, definitely it will hasten, because we will be in areas very quickly. Because our focus will be for companies that are operating where we don't operate right now. Because it takes a while for us to go into a new place and put up facilities and hire people. So if there's a way for us to fast track this, and through acquisitions of these companies, then it will be a welcome development.
Which areas are you looking at? Those acquisitions.
Yeah, somewhere in the Visayas.
Visayas.
More really on the Visayas, because that's where the growth potentials are.
Why?
I don't know. I mean, I think for a very long time that part of the country has been neglected. Maybe because of the new leadership, there's a fresh, people are looking at these areas with a fresh pair of eyes. So we'd like to take advantage and see how Radius can help.
Central Visayas or
Somewhere there.
do you have any more questions? How about, do you have any parting words?
Well, thank you very much, Confi Vernon, for inviting Radius. Radius is a company that's here to stay. We're backed by 100% by Meralco. We're a company that's really focused on making sure that businesses are run, with with services that will allow you to, sell your products in the global marketplace. We're very focused on what we want to achieve. Currently, we're just present in Metro Manila and several provinces surrounding the area, but pretty soon we'll be in your vicinity. Watch out for us. You know, we'll be there.
Yeah, let's watch out for Radius, and they're ready to be comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yes.
Thank you very much, sir.
Okay.
And thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.